Hi. Mhm. Mm. Hi there. It's snowing and cold here in Boston. So I've already been out and dug up my car, but I wanted to make sure because I have something to do later that I would be able to get out and it's still snowing. It's a little after 11:30 here. So I'm here to say hi to everyone. This is my weekly quick check-in to say what's been going on and mostly to just talk a little bit about whatever is coming up with lipedema. So last week I started to share a little bit about the Real You project and the work with Peter Hurley, who is a photographer, and his colleague Rod Flores. Today I want to talk a little bit about this whole notion of the real you. Why? Why are we even considering this? Why are we doing this? So it's a fascinating thing, but lipedema, as most of you, if not all of you know, brings with it so much, so many levels of self-judgment and self-blame and distortion. Lipedema is a disfiguring disease. And as we look at what it is and how we relate to it, it is a huge entity in and of itself. So, one of the things that I did this week is if you look above, I went ahead and I linked Peter Hurley's talk, which is how I connected with him around the real you, because he has a talk on bridging the gap around self acceptance. And if you don't already know, there's another link, and it's to our February. We have a month-long webinar series called Self Love. Put a little self-love in your heart is what is it. What's the title of it is? Thanks to Gail. Gail, our wonderful community manager, we came up with themes for every month, and she named the theme for February. And there's also, we still have, I think, 6 or 7 or 8 webinars left. And I'm doing a webinar tomorrow on falling madly in love with yourself. And it's something that I've been playing with. I've been toying with it for myself, I think, for quite a while. And recently, over the past couple of years, it's become much more of a focus. And I think, as I age, I am 73. I turned 73 in early January. I never thought I'd make it this far. Surely never thought I'd make it this far. But here I am. And since I'm here, I am going to make the most of it. And so the idea of even now, the opportunity, the privilege of falling in love with oneself. Wow. So I have put together a presentation, and we're meeting tomorrow. I think the webinar is at 5. I think I should check. I'll add it to the chat, or let me take a second and just double check. I can tell you for sure. It is 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And we'll explore this whole notion of what is it? How do the messages that we give ourselves day in and day out, repeatedly, again and again and again, how do they impact us? And what would happen if we change those messages to messages of love, of acceptance, of compassion, of understanding? You know, I'm going to share something with you that is kind of, you know, I just feel very self disclosing and revealing. But even after all these years, even after the documentary movie that I made, the book that I wrote, and the endless numbers of consults that I've done with ladies where I say again and again and again, it's not your fault. I have to say that some part of me still believes it is my fault. And that's what I keep working with. You know, what is that judgmental part that wants to, in some way, maintain and sustain that level of self blaming? And what's very different for me about it is that I now bring to her love, compassion, kindness. I'm like, yeah, I get it. You still want to hold on to that. But your time is limited because each day, each course, each time we connect, each day of deepening and self awareness, and I have to say, kindness, um, everything's, all of those harsh self judgments continue to dissolve. So, thanks for joining me, ladies. Today is going to be a short one. I'm going to invite you, as always, to our February webinar. We're doing something different this time. Our webinar series are usually free. This time, we're suggesting a donation, and you'll have access to the replays until April when the symposium starts up. So between now and April, you'll have all 14 webinars. They have been phenomenal. I hosted last night with Jill Harvey from Australia. Absolutely wonderful webinar on. She had an encounter with COVID. She had COVID, and so she put something together that was so useful in terms of understanding it and taking care of yourself in the midst of it, and many others, and many more to come. And tomorrow, fall madly in love with yourself with me. Come join me, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And again, you can register with the link above if you haven't already. And if you have, I look forward to you joining with me in this exploration. The other thing, and I'll make an announcement about it tomorrow night on the webinar, but I am starting up a special course, an online course called The Real You. Now, we did an online version and a retreat last year. We're going to do the online version coming up this spring. And if you've done the online version either this spring or later this summer, you'll be eligible to come on our retreat. We're having a retreat with Peter Hurley and Rod Florey so we can have another photo shoot. But we're going to Santorini, Greece. What a hoot. It's like paradise. But come hear more about it tomorrow and come to the webinar. And, you know, I think this is my mother. My mother was a sales shopper, and I used to love going shopping with her, and we'd always find wonderful things. Well, as part of anyone coming to the webinar tomorrow, at the end of the webinar, we're doing a grab, and whoever wins gets a self-care box. And it's a box that has all kinds of goodies in it. It's worth about $150. And we're going to do that tomorrow. So please come, and we need to be there to win. We want to, you know, part of it is having the interaction and being able to say, "Yay, you won! Here, you get more stuff to take care of yourself," and it's just fun. So I love you. I just love this community. I love being here, and I just love. Yeah, can I say this? I love myself more and more each day. I love that I'm here doing this. I love that with all the fear and foibles and flaws. I'm just here. That's it. Much love. Have a wonderful rest of your day or morning or afternoon or weekend or not weekend because people watch the replays. Thank you so much for trusting me enough to show up and to listen to some of my um, inner workings. And thank you.